We begin this hour with the news. A Supreme Court case that could transform the federal government or reset it, depending on your perspective, and strengthen the power of the presidency. President Trump is pushing for more control over the executive, and this case may give it to him. The court heard arguments on Monday. Jan Crawford is outside the Supreme Court for us once again, a familiar face. Jan, good morning.
Well, good morning, Tony. So, this case started when President Trump fired a member of the Federal Trade Commission back in March. That's 4 years before her term was supposed to end. So she sued, saying that federal law prohibits presidents from removing members of these independent federal agencies like the FTC.
The case focuses on Democrat Rebecca Slaughter, whose term on the Federal Trade Commission was supposed to last until 2029, before President Trump fired her in March.
The message is, do exactly what I want, or you're going to lose your jobs.
At issue now is whether Congress can prohibit the president from removing members of the FTC without cause, when the 1914 law creating the bipartisan agency says commissioners can only be removed by the president for inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance in office.
The president has short-circuited that issue by just skipping over and ignoring a statute that he doesn't like.
On Monday, members of the court's liberal wing echoed Slaughter's concern.
You're asking us to destroy the structure of government and to take away from Congress its ability to protect its idea that the government is better structured with some agencies that are independent.
But the court's conservative majority suggested the agency's executive roles have grown vastly over the last century, potentially allowing greater presidential authority.
The theme of the other side is that independent agencies are not accountable to the people. They're not elected, as Congress and the president are, and are exercising massive power over individual liberty and billion-dollar industries.
Recent Supreme Court rulings suggest Congress can't prohibit presidential firings, powers President Biden leaned on to remove officials from independent agencies like the Social Security Administration. Georgetown law professor Stephanie Barclay.
What do you think the bottom line is going to be here?
I think there's almost no question that the bottom line will be Trump wins this case.
Now, the court is expected to decide Rebecca Slaughter's case by July, and if it rules against her, it could affect other independent federal agencies and a president's ability to influence them, but not necessarily all of them. The court has suggested that the Federal Reserve Board may be more insulated from these kind of firings. Nate?
Jan, thank you.